Alright guys, so it is 9:56 Saturday morning. We have 20 people here for the Shipworks Edge Weapon Overview course. Wish you guys could make it. I know the weather's bad out there, but we've got guys that came here from about 3 hours away, other states, all kinds of stuff. So some fantastic training. Enough of that. I'm gonna let you guys see what's going on.
Stop! What? You speak English, motherfucker. Stop!
Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really like the whole crossing your feet too much. Yeah.
You need something. Stop!
I'm just going to walk. So walking is better because if he's crossing
Alright, so pretty much what's happening here right now is the managing unknown contacts portion of the coursework. So it is learning how to talk, learn how to be verbally agile, mentally agile and adaptable. And this is one of my main squeezes right here. It's John Ramsey, trains at SPG. And, you're not John Ramsey. I'm sorry, man. He's so skinny. This is John Mayer. But I didn't want to give you up in front of everybody because then people think a celebrity trains here. Right? But this is the John Mayer.
Hey, I'll sign autographs.
Literally, this is John Mayer. Like, so if you want to come train with John Mayer, you need to get in here. So we've got a great group of people here, man. Folks are getting after it, and they are working hard. We've got Craig Douglas, the master trainer. He's right here. Hey, man. So we are live
I'm here
on
with my
Facebook,
brother.
right? So we are live on Facebook, and Craig is doing his thing, man, and making good people a lot more dangerous to bad people. Starting with the first and probably the most important component, which is to avoid, deter, and de-escalate. All right, guys. He's getting ready to start teaching. Ready?
All right. There you go. I'm going to use my British Irish voice. All right. So, as easy as it sounds to do, right? Keep your hands up. Don't move backwards. Have a good playlist. Who's having a hard time not moving backwards? Everybody is, right? Guys, look. As hard as it is not to do when you're concentrated on not doing it, that's real easy to elicit in someone. So this is like basic freshman scumbag level skill. Everybody on the street knows that if you step up on somebody, the first thing they're going to do is move back. It's really easy to get flushed. If you can initiate with the arcing movement, that's really what we want to do. All right, I'm seeing a few of you that will take a step or two back and then start to move to your left or your right. If you can initiate with the arc, it's powerful. If we think about this in terms of Boyd, the OODA loop, which is an oversimplification of a book like that thick. Still in all, let's think about when you initiate with the arc, when someone's stepping up, starting to initiate a conversation with you, the effect should be something like this. Hey man, can you... It's a really subtle way to establish initiative, okay? Because it's a reorientation of this person, right? You're shifting your orientation. You're causing a pause in their thinking. It's subtle, but it's powerful. Now, the other thing I'm seeing with a bunch of you, particularly if you're in law enforcement, is I'm seeing a bunch of you have a single hand up and trail a hand by your waist and blade your hips. And you gave me a specific thing as when I said, why are you doing that? What is it related to?
It's my firearm because we're decided to keep it on. So I want to keep it down here because if I got to
Why
slip
you
my
wanna keep
jacket
that?
back.
So you're doing that to do what?
being defensive
have
posture.
access-
Yeah, have
defensive
access. If I
posture.
gotta pull my jacket
So your
back.
thought process when you drop your hand and you blade your hips is protecting the gun. Something along those lines. Well, guys, I've heard this for a long, long time. And many of us, okay, were trained that way back in the day. Hey, you got a problem brewing. You need to get that gun sight back, get that hand close to it, keep a hand up. If you're a citizen and you were trained by somebody in law enforcement, you may very well be doing that same kind of tactic as a preparatory measure to things are getting ready to go bad, right? I see a lot of guys classically gun sight trained. When they kind of shift from yellow to orange, they'll start doing that kind of stuff. I don't think that's a good thing to do. I don't think it's a good thing to do. Here's why. I assess any non-kinetic, pre-engagement, not physical tactic from the standpoint of, does what's being advocated for support staying conscious and staying on my feet? So I want to look at this and see if that supports consciousness and stability, okay? So Carrie and I, let's look at this for a second. Now, again, the theory behind this has always been, all right, when I turn, the gun's further away from his hand, harder for him to get to. We've got one hand on him, one hand on him. The gun's really not that much further away, is it? I mean, he can just lean in and get the gun. Here's what's significantly affected, though, my ability to stay upright, because my hips, my belt buckle are pointed away from Carrie. He has what we think of as a center line advantage. He's going to drive right through me here, boom, okay? And even if you're not a grappler, let me give you a really, really simple visual. If you think about a lineman in the NFL, right? A 335-pound dude bred in a test tube for the game, right? We think about that guy, and he's getting ready to take a hit from another one that looks just like him. When that guy's preparing for impact, do we ever see that dude turning his hips away from where that guy's crashing on? No. Where's his hips? His hips are square. Now look, square doesn't mean I have to be standing in front of Carrie, back of my heels, all 80s SAS style, right? I don't have to do that, right? So square refers to your pelvic girdle. I don't care what kind of lead you are in. What I'm talking about is your hips, okay? I can be on an angle, which is the preferred place to be with square hips, but I don't want you turning your pelvic girdle away from him. Does that make sense? Your belt buckle needs to face him at all times, okay? Hopefully, by having square hips, my weight forward, and a little bit lower center of gravity, I've prepared myself as best as I can from the impact from this person. May very well outweigh me by 100 pounds, okay? That's going to give you the best chance of staying upright, is having good forward posture, which we're going to get into later, okay? Now, the hand drop thing, okay? Dropping your hand to the gun. Yes, the hand is closer to the pistol, so I can get it out or shove it back into the holster if it's gun grab. At the expense of what?
Well, you lost a hand.
50% of my ability to protect my nugget. Now, if you were to tell me, you know what, I understand I'm giving that up, but I'm really concerned about getting this gun out or retaining it, I'm still going to tell you, I don't think that's a good trade. More often than not, though, when it happens, it's not a conscious decision. It's something that you don't realize you're doing. That hand is listing down there. Do you think that's a good thing?
Telegraphing that you're getting ready to draw, possibly.
So, do you think so I had a rental car every weekend, right? New car, every weekend, 40 weeks out of the year, driving along. My car shits the bed. I really don't know where I'm at, trying to get to my hotel for the night, right? And I pull over, I get out, the hood's smoking, I'm like, damn, man. I look around, and I realize this is not a good place for my car to break down. And I have a hood rat that comes around the corner, sucks his teeth at me and says, what's up? If I do something like this, hey man, you back up. You think he knows what that means? Guys, look, in every shitty neighborhood I ever bought drugs, whores, or dope in, they most assuredly know what that means. So when you do this, you're advertising the fact, without realizing it, that you're armed. You not only let him know, you've let everybody else know that's not part of the problem yet. Know you're armed. Guys, the best advice I can give you to stop doing this is probably what your mom told you when you skinned your knee, or you had a little bobo that was healing. What did Mom say when you started? What'd she say that? Don't touch it, don't play with it, don't pick at it. Because that's what everybody does. They get nervous, they pick at it, they touch it, they fuck with it. Holy shit, is it still there? I might need it in a moment. It's moved from here to here. Fuck, what's my God when I need it? Right? It's a huge tell. It's a huge tell. Don't do that. It's really egregious. Again, that's freshman mope stuff, right? Any ECQC alumni that's been through the third day of ECQC has seen this happen repeatedly with people put in ambiguous situations, okay? Stop picking it. So when I see dudes, especially young coppers or old coppers, right? And I see them turn their hips and drop their hand and I say, hey dude, why are you doing that? And the answer is so I can protect my gun. Guys, the biggest factor in protecting your gun is protecting yourself. If you can protect yourself, you can protect the gun. It's not an assault on the gun, it's an assault on you. And probably two big factors in protecting yourself are what? Staying conscious and staying on your feet, right? So guys, if you're doing things that don't support that, I would really strongly encourage you not to do that. I can't tell you how much video that I've personally observed pre-internet, okay, of a copper hopping on one foot trying to get something off his waist, right? And then it goes horizontal and we're in another ground fight and it gives rise to things that are not true, such as 90% of all fights go to the ground. Anybody ever heard a number like that? 80% of all fights go to the ground. 67% of all statistics are made up on the spot. All right? So here's the thing, guys. Look, that's not true. It's not inevitable or a higher probability that it's going to go to the ground just when two human beings fight. Here's what's true. If I set myself up with bad posture and get back in my heels and I take impact, I most assuredly am going to fall. The root problem has never been the inevitability of a higher preponderance of a fight going to the ground. It has everything to do with how you're standing when you get hit, when you're vertical. So, when you are managing this unknown contact and you arc around him, I don't want to see you doing this, getting back on your heels, dropping your hand away from your head, and setting yourself up for a takedown. Okay? Don't do that. Keep your hips square and your hands up. Okay? When I arc here, here I am. Now if Kerry crashes, okay, boom, I've survived that moment and I can work on getting out of this or getting a weapon deployed, right? Does that make sense to you? So really I want you to switch partners now. On the second iteration, I want you to make a focused effort to keep your hips square and your hands up. Really focus on that. It's going to be vital here shortly. Okay? Questions? Grab a different body, switch up, do it again.
All right, guys, so that was Craig Douglas. So just a small portion of his instruction. As you can see, man, he's on another level when it comes to teaching. I mean, it's, you know, it's like they say there's levels to this thing. He's next level, my friends. And hey, Pete, wish you could be here, man. It would be great to have you out here with us. He is covering a lot of ground here, and as always, we're trying to make good people a lot more dangerous to bad people. You know, we have a good mix of folks here. We've got guys that are law enforcement, we've got guys that are military, we've got regular folks, Not that, you know, military and law enforcement guys aren't regular, but if they're on the job, they'll understand what I'm saying. They're a little abnormal, but hey, man, this is good stuff, man. Wish you guys could be here. I'm gonna watch a little bit more, and then I'm gonna get in on some myself.
Came out of my girl's apartment. Back off, hey, back the fuck off. Stop right here. Back up.
Hold on! I'm sorry, hey, back up.
Back the fuck up, man! Back the fuck up, dude! Yeah, I'm shouting at you. Back up!
My car, right?
Hey man, back up. Back the fuck. Back the fuck.
Hold up!
I don't care if you
All right, guys, so we're going to close this out. Hey, Scott, man, you got to get out to one of these. This is next level training. Like I said, a lot of people talk about it. Craig be about it. So always in the process of helping people to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And there's a lot of truth to that. Your training, all of our training, has to be recent, relevant, and realistic. And Craig and ShivWorks definitely checks those boxes. All right, guys, you have a good one.